Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm real excited to get to do a review and talk about the Ventrac 4520Y. They released this tractor a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to be honest with you, they were doing the little teaser bits before they come out and released it, and I was a little nervous. I'm not one to like change. I'm really not. I love my 4500. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years since they launched this tractor, but I'm very thankful to own one of these. Ventrac nailed it when they come out with this. Everything's perfect on it. It's been a real popular model, and I didn't think there'd be any way that they could change anything on this that I would like it more. I was wrong. There's features on this tractor, the new one, the 4520, that I really like. I think you guys will too. Now, when Ventrac did their launch video on this, I watched it live. Like all their videos, they do an excellent job explaining everything, all the new stuff, even their attachments. I do like watching their channel. I'm going to go over a few of the things here too and talk about what they did, the things they added, and then I read a lot of comments on YouTube, social media, and other things, my channel and others. I'm going to focus on a few things that people were talking about this model and go a little more into detail. So we're going to get started. First off, you'll notice the looks. Everyone used to say this looked like an 80s tractor. Me personally, I like my square body Ventrac. I just like that it looks like a tractor. Steel hood and everything, they didn't go to plastic. Even with the new model, still steel hood and everything. So I really like that. They beveled the side of the hood here. They still left it, the Ventrac red and the gray. The decals are still red and blue and everything. And when you really look at this machine, you know that it's a Ventrac. They did accent the wheels and the roll bar in black, but it goes very well with the machine, gives it a more modern look. And I really do like the looks of it. Like I said, that was one complaint they always used to have, is people said the tractor looked old. I still like the looks of the 4500, but this 4520 is really growing on me. I really like it. I'll do a quick walk around, show you guys a little bit of what it looks like. The hydraulic system. This has a 15cc pump on my 4500, where the 4520 has a 20cc. Now, the hydraulic system is the heart and backbone of this whole machine. So even compared to an engine, the hydraulic system is your main thing. So they've improved that, quicker response, heavier lifting, you know, all that. So that is a big deal when it comes to the new machine. I think so. We'll go with the engine. This has the D902, the same engine, the diesel that my 4500 has in it. This is a question that gets answered or asked a lot, that people want is a larger diesel option. I've done videos on this in the past talking about it with this one, so I don't want to go too in depth with this, but a lot of people want a higher horsepower diesel engine. I just don't think you're ever going to see that. I'd like higher horsepower too, but anything over 25 horse, you get into the emissions. I've talked about it. DPF filter, you got sensors, more wiring, and then when you go into a regen, it creates more heat. Not to mention you can have sensor failures or other things, and I think it just kills the reliability of the machine to where a lot of people, including myself, I don't want nothing to do with the emission stuff on it just because I don't want the hassle. So I doubt you're ever going to see a higher horsepower diesel in anything like a zero turn or more of a compact machine like this, because you guys have to understand all that stuff takes room, but yet they still have to keep these tractors compact enough to where you can use them for sidewalk, you know, snow removal, that kind of thing. I could be wrong. Maybe Ventrac's working on a larger diesel option. That could be one of the things that they're doing. I'm not sure. I highly doubt it. I don't think that it would be worth it in the market, but like I said, I could be wrong. Now, I will point out that the diesel, by December of 2022, I talked about this in the video, they're going from mechanical to electronic on the diesel. So if I had to guess, Kubota may go with an EFI or electronic fuel injection on their gas model. Since they're going electric on the diesel, they may switch over. If they could get rid of the carburetor on the gas and gain a few more horsepower and get better fuel economy, I think the gas engine would dominate this market anyway, because that Kubota engine, even the gas one, is pretty much bulletproof, and a lot of people love that engine, including myself. It's just a little bit of the fuel economy will get you there. So that's a little bit touching on the engine. We're going to start from the front. I hope I don't miss anything, because there's so many things I want to point out on this tractor. The 4500 grill compared to the 4520 grill, you can see they made this 4 bolts. You can take that cover off. Just makes it easier to access if you ever need to change that main belt. I don't think you really ever have to change them, but it's just one more thing that they did. You know, customers probably told them it just makes it easier and quicker, and little things like that that Ventrac changes. We're gonna go from headlights. Now, I got the LED headlights. That was an upgrade I put on my 4500. Some people were commenting about the 4 headlights. I like the looks of it. It makes it a little different. And them lights look small, but they put out a lot of light. 4,000 lumens. And the one thing I like about them is I'll show you a picture. It does light up the sides of the mower deck, and they have a really wide flood pattern, and you can really see what you're doing. On my 4500, they don't get as wide on the mower deck. They're bright forward, but that's why I installed roll bar lights on mine to see the deck. So I really like the headlight configuration of the 4520. Now, going through underneath the hood, a few things, walk around this tractor, things that I've noticed. The 4500 has a plastic hydraulic reservoir tank, where the 4520, I've noticed they went to a solid steel one, so they beefed that up. If you look underneath the frame, the center pin and link, they changed that and made it stronger on the 4520 as well, so they gained some structural integrity there. Next to that's the foot pedal. Now, my pedal on the 4500 is flat. On the 4520, they have it flat, and then you can remove the center and have it open and just use the front or back if you prefer to use the pedal that way. Just another option that they're giving people that I like. Another big option change that they did was the gauge cluster. They changed the whole instrumentation panel. On the 4500, it had the warning lights on the gauge next to it. Now the new dash panel, all the lights are integrated in the dash panel itself. And I guess they had some people complaining about the old dashes. I've read this a lot, people complain, but they weren't as accurate. And I've noticed this too. Sometimes you'd be mowing, it would go to 2 yellow lights for fuel, and then 5 minutes later it'd be 3 greens, and then it'd go back to 2 yellows. I've done videos on that as well. I've never had this thing where I've run out of fuel and it said I had like 2 yellows or anything. Generally when the light come on red and it stayed red, I had about a gallon, but a lot of people didn't like how it fluctuated back and forth, so they went to needles on the gauge. I think it looks really nice. One thing I did notice is it has a photo eye on it, so in the daytime the lights are off, but when you hit low light conditions or nighttime, it's like LED backlit and it's real crisp and clear. You can see the gauges very well. So that's just another improvement. They listen to customers, and I think it gives the machine a more modern look as well. We'll talk about the SDLA lever, the D10 in it for the float position. Now, for like cutting grass and things, a lot of times you have to have attachments in float, and it's crucial. A couple times I have knocked mine out of float. It doesn't happen a lot, but you sometimes can. With this now, it's a really tight spring, and I think that was a good upgrade. There's no way you're accidentally going to knock this out of float and know it. So the switch panel, they moved the switches to a side panel. Now, this is another thing people have been commenting on, and I really like having the switches there. It reminds me sort of like a farm tractor. All your switches are on the right, but everything's convenient. Your hand's always on the SDLA lever, so have all the switches right next to you. It's convenient. You don't have to reach up, nothing. Everything's right there in one little compartment. I did have a couple people I've heard complain about, you know, being able to shut the PTO off fast. They liked it up top. And at first, I agreed with them on that. I was thinking, that's a good point. Now, there has been times running the trencher where I've hit a rock or something, I've had to hurry up and shut the PTO off. I've gotten stuff caught in the rough cut deck, like some fencing, wire fencing that I didn't know. I'm going to demonstrate where they have the PTO switch here. You can shut this off in a fraction of a second, and I think that a lot of people, the more they sit on this tractor or run it, they're going to find they like having the PTO switch there. Your hand's always on the SDLA lever, so if you would ever hit something, you can slam that PTO off super fast. I really like having the switch there now, especially after seeing it, and I think it was a good improvement in my thought. They did add a quicker access cover to get to the auxiliary hydraulic cooler if you ever wanted to clean that out. That was another little option they did. And also the hydraulic cooler has been beefed up. It's a little bigger for better cooling capacity. A couple other little things, front and rear, they put tie downs on this. That's a big deal to me. I think that, like I said, it's little, but it's a big change that really makes it different. trying to tie this down without an attachment on the tractor, finding places to put straps. They have the tie downs on here now. To me, that's just a huge deal. They did add a USB charger to the tractor, another big deal. A lot of people added them to the 4500, but now you can at least charge your cell phone and that kind of thing while you're on the tractor. Like I said, I'm trying to think of all these things here that they've done because they've made a lot of changes, and I don't really want to leave anything out, but there is a heated seat option before I leave that out. You can't get it for the 4500, but you can get it for this, and that would be a great option in the winter, especially for me not having a cab. And speaking of winter and cabs, Ventrac really did their homework on this. The cab on a 4500 will bolt right on and fit on the 4520. So to me, that's a big deal. I do like that they thought about that. If you're a fleet owner, say you have 6 4500s and you want to trade in a couple and get the new 4520s, and you do snow removal, you can take the cabs off your 4500s, trade the tractor in, and use the cab on the 4520. That's even a big deal to a homeowner like myself. If I wanted to get rid of this tractor and buy the new one, well, now I don't have to, you know, sell my cab with that tractor and buy all new, because the cab's a pretty expensive option, and to just have to get rid of that when you buy a new machine, it's pretty smart that they did it that way. Auxiliary hydraulics on mine, they're vertical stacked. I don't have the other two yet. I've got to get that kit this winter. I'm going to put it on. But on the new one, they put it on the side with the actuator and everything. That way, I guess it makes it easier for installing and everything. So they thought about that as well. I still love the 4500, but I think you guys are really going to like the 4520. It is definitely, when you go see it at a dealer, it's going to grow on you. I really do like the graphics and everything. The paint scheme, it's just all around a really nice looking machine. I'm going to put some more videos on this thing mowing and doing some other things. I hope you guys liked this video and I answered some questions on it. As always, thanks for watching.